So now we're getting into lesson 2, the inclined plane. So hopefully from lesson 1, you understand the different classes of the levers and how we have two big families for simple machines, the lever family and the inclined plane family. And today we're going to be talking about the inclined plane. Okay, so inclined plane is basically a ramp. Okay, so imagine this, right? You have a truck and you're moving a heavy piano, right? And if you have a piano that's really, really heavy, and what you can do is you can just and lift it up onto the truck if you're really, really strong. But then obviously it's not as easy to just lift it up. So what people have done is they're like, okay, let's make a simple machine. And what we do is we're going to stick a ramp on it, and then we're going to push the piano. This is a piano. We're going to push it with a certain force. Okay? And the total work done on pushing this piano up the ramp would be more, we're talking about work done here, in comparison if I just have a piano and I lift it straight up with a certain height. But the applied force that you need to do when you're pushing something up the ramp in comparison to go against the force of gravity, that's the amount of force that you would need to push, you would notice that the force to lift it up would be a lot bigger than the force that you need to apply to push it up the ramp. Okay? So, the force required to move an object up the ramp is less than the force needed to lift the object vertically upwards. And that's what machines are useful for. So even though you might be wasting a bit more work because of frictions and stuff like that, right? So another example that they're telling you is that it's easier for you to walk up a stairways than to climb up a ladder. Like, can you imagine, like, you're climbing up a ladder, right? And the amount of force that your leg needs to go through versus if you're stepping on a staircase, the actual force you need to push on the leg would be a lot bigger when you're going on the thing. And so by taking advantage of that, we build these things called a wedge, right? A wedge is basically a double inclined plane that actually can increase the applied force. So that's why the doorstop is powerful, because it's taking advantage of an inclined plane. A screw is an inclined plane that is wrapped around a central raft, okay? And therefore it can also make it really strong and hold together your wood pieces. So example of inclined plane. So a stair is kind of like a modified inclined plane. Okay? Axe and wedge. See how like you can chop through a wood by using the inclined plane right here. Okay? And then the screw and the car jack, they all basically take an inclined plane and they wrap it around a central raft to make it into a screw. Okay, and then more than that, we have these things called a compound machine. And the definition for a compound machine is you put two or more simple machines together, and therefore they form a compound machine. So that's a definition that you need to know. Okay. Okay, other simple machines like pulleys. Okay, pulleys have wheels with a groove rim, and then they have a rope and a cable. So it is considered to be a lever because we have a fulcrum. Remember how we said that as long as there is a turning point, they're called a fulcrum? Okay, and then how much work is done and there's measurement involved is distance of the effort force and the distance of the load. So your load is you lifting the rock up. So this is a single fixed pulleys. A single fixed pulley. And then this one is a single movable pulleys. Okay. The amount of work that it takes for this hand versus this hand, it's going to be obviously different. It's the force that your hand needs on this guy is actually going to be smaller. And we will actually look at them in details later on. Okay? A spool, and then the wheel and axles are basically a larger diameter of a disc. And then finally, gears are basically wheels but have teeth, and they're locked together by using different ratio of different number of teeth. You're gaining advantage.